halt.
But there are ways we can help. Simple actions can make a big difference.
There are certain measures that we can take to make sure that we mitigate some of the possible impacts, such as using LED bulbs.
It's up to all of us to take proactive steps. Stay informed and prepared. Together, we can weather this storm. For more information and updates, follow CIMH on X, Facebook, and Instagram.
Your number one team in the north. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Raven Davis. Be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight is coming your way next.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
First at 11. The family of an Atlantis guest and American visitor to the Bahamas has retained legal counsel and are making steps to perform an independent autopsy after their loved one was found dead. Also, watercraft operators respond to the proposed safety measure of jet ski operators using body cams to ensure the safety of patrons and protect the tourism product of the Bahamas. And health officials watchful as a contagious virus pops back up in schools. The Bahamas Tonight at 11 starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Royston Jones, and this is the Bahamas Tonight at 11. Welcome to the broadcast. It's a story that's making international headlines. An American visitor comes to our shores, and hours after his arrival, he ends up dead. Torn by grief, that family has not only retained an attorney, but is hoping to secure an independent autopsy into what they view as a suspicious death. Makush Lapinder leads us off tonight at 11.
More questions than answers for the family of Denari McAlmont, the 23-year-old visitor whose body was found lifeless on a beach on Paradise Island less than a day after he and relatives arrived in the country for vacation last week. As the family tells it, they were at dinner at Anthony's Bar and Grill when Denari left to get a jacket. Sadly, that was the last time he was seen alive.
When the police came to the hotel on the reef at about 2 a.m. on the 5th, and they told me that they were looking for my son.
Hours later, the American was found dead via Zoom Friday. McAlmont's mother, Michelle, told the media that from the day the incident was reported, detectives held that this was not a homicide. Several days later, police released a statement noting that Denari died due to drowning.
They're saying foul play is not suspected without even investigating, without even finding out the circumstances, without even reviewing footage of cameras around the Atlantis property. And then you're going to say at the ultimate paragraph, the matter will be forwarded to His Majesty's coroner. So at least what should have been said in this report is that everything is inconclusive.
Accompanied by their local attorney, Keith Seymour, the Bowie, Maryland family is demanding answers. The investigation, he says, should reflect what actually happened.
Atlantis has the ability, we all have been there, that they have cameras everywhere. So they are able to be able to cooperate if they are willing to provide footage of where he would be.
Mrs. McAlmont says despite the requests, she hasn't yet been allowed to review the hotel surveillance camera footage. As for permission to see their son's body, the McAlmonts was only allowed to view Denari's face Friday morning at a funeral home. As indicated by police, the matter has been turned over to His Majesty's coroner.
Meantime, relatives of the man reported missing while on a jet ski Sunday say their search continues. Tonight, they're making a public appeal for anyone with information who can assist to come forward. Our Lloyd Allen fills us in.
It's been 5 days since police reported 32-year-old Emmanuel Bain went missing just off the coast of Saunders Beach near Long Key. That's just right here behind me. We've spoken with his family who continue on that search for their loved one.
when I went to see the yeoman, they take a statement from me, and I didn't ever hear no word back from them yet.
Emmanuel Bain's mother, Marva Bain, says the family simply wants answers on the whereabouts of the 32-year-old father of two.
I don't know what's going on. All I said, Emmanuel, where you with? If you come back with one hand, 1 foot, anything.
Emmanuel's girlfriend, Shianti, who partners with him in operating their family business, the Bar of Feelings, say their family just want answers.
My 6-year-old is autistic, or he's on the spectrum. But the 3-year-old, every day, I don't know what to tell them.
His mother also making this appeal.
If anyone see anything or anyone hear anything or anyone want to reach out to me, could reach out on 601-5859. That's my house number, or 447-6071.
Now, it's been 5 days since his disappearance, and friends and family continue on regular searches, even along the beach, for clues on his disappearance. From Saunders Beach for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Thanks, Lloyd. Jet ski operators seem to be a consistent topic of contention. The U.S. Embassy struck again with a warning to its fellow citizens that, yet again, one of their own was allegedly raped. Here's what the local service providers told our Daniel Dean.
Watercraft operators giving their 2 cents on national security, Minister the Honourable Wayne Munro's proposal that jet ski renters wear body cams.
What they could do is put a CC camera in the area, like up in the tree up in here.
Pedro Bannister, owner of a jet ski rental company, while admitting body cams are a bit personal, states he has nothing to hide.
We have a lot of police in the area, and they don't want to do no foolishness. They'll be crazy to do some foolishness right now. I think they gave for rape, they gave you like 15 to 20 years. That is nothing to play with. That'll change your whole life.
Mr. Tinker, who states that the safety of tourists is the #1 priority for himself and other watercraft operators, says from his perspective, the narrative goes a little like this.
When they drunk, we don't bother with them at all. And that's the main thing, is what is really happening. Sometimes these tourists, them lead guys on and things when they waste it. And at the end of the day, when they lead the guys on, when they waste it, you know, the guys might care them, come on to them, but at the end of the day, when these tourists wake up from being drunk, hey, oh, who you is and this and that. So that's why we have to tell them, don't bother with these tourists when they drinking.
While Canadian Lonnie Bill vouches for the country he's visiting for the 2nd time.
I guess so, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I've always felt safe here. If that's what they got to do to make more people feel safe, I guess they have to do it. I don't know.
Bannister challenges the Minister of National Security, Commissioner of Police, the Minister of Tourism, and anyone concerned about both the safety of tourists and the success of the Bahamian entrepreneurs.
I want them to come down one day and see how the business is operated. They probably just hear it by hearsay, but you actually have to come down.
They look forward to a future where the character of those doing right by the tourist will outshine that of those wreaking havoc. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
A significant stride in marine conservation achieved as the MSC Foundation inaugurates its state-of-the-art Marine Conservation Center at Ocean Key MSC Marine Reserve here in the Bahamas. Devontae Hanna reports from Bimini.
Officials cutting the ribbon on a brand new MSC Foundation Marine Center on Ocean Key on Thursday.
Ocean Key is no longer just an idea. It is alive, it is thriving, and it is leading.
The newest facility on the property is dedicated to advancing coral reef research and restoration, particularly through the Super Coral program, which focuses on identifying and propagating resilient coral species to combat global reef decline.
Addressing marine conservation is critical to this administration. It requires strong research, bold leadership, lasting partnerships, and the capacity building programs, all of which are poised to take place at this conservation center.
The center boasts a marine research laboratory, coral nurseries, and educational spaces designed to foster collaboration among students, scientists, and visitors. MSC Foundation CEO Pierre Francesco Vago says it's part of MSC's commitment to environmental stewardship transforming Ocean Key from a former industrial site back in 2016 into a thriving marine reserve.
We saw potential, a chance to heal nature, a chance to build something meaningful and destination that brings global travelers to the Bahamas.
The inauguration aligns with MSC Cruises' broader environmental initiatives, including the recent launch of the MSC World America, a ship emphasizing sustainable technologies and practices, and on its maiden voyage, stops in the Bahamas to shore up the local economy.
He's expected to more than double the jobs on the island and brings many new entrepreneurial opportunities.
Visitors will leave charged. Informed guests will become ocean advocates, and ocean advocates can carry our message around the world.
Now, it is expected that thousands of visitors will come here to Ocean Key year-round, and according to officials, they believe that those visitors will not just participate in the tourism activities, but they will become protectors of the environment wherever they go. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanna.
Thanks, Devontae. Bahamasair hosted a special ceremony at Orlando's MCO airport yesterday to mark a very significant milestone in the airline's history and to build further on decades-long relationship. Corval Pfeiffer has more from Orlando.
It's a celebration that's 40 years in the making, and one Bahamasair officials say is completely necessary. Necessary because for 40 years, Bahamasair has provided daily non-stop service to Orlando's International Airport, or MCO. Sales consultant Woodrow Wilson has been a longtime member of Bahamasair's Team Orlando.
We've gone from little to many.
This day of celebration, which brought together passengers, Bahamasair officials, tourism reps, and members of the Greater Orlando Airport Authority at MCO, was meant to mark what both the national flag carrier and Orlando agree is a remarkable milestone.
Looking forward, we are definitely excited about the potential for even further expansion. And as we celebrate this significant anniversary, let us reflect on our journey, the friendships we have forged, the partnerships we have nurtured, and the bridges we have built.
MCO is the fourth largest U.S. market to the Bahamas. Bahamasair accounts for almost 50% of the total MCO Bahamas traffic. And Bahamasair operates daily flight between Orlando and Nassau, but also they offer a seasonal service to Freeport.
The flight crew even taking a minute to join the festivities.
Been with Bahamasair flying from 1992. So, and been doing this from 1992, Orlando and all of that plus, sir.
Well, I know every year it's going to get better and better for Bahamasair. We're very excited for what Bahamasair has to offer Orlando moving forward.
The goal is the same on both ends of this route. Both Orlando International Airport and Bahamasair want to see this relationship continue to thrive, expanding on seamless connections. At the Orlando International Airport for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Pfeiffer.
Thanks, Corval. Travel back safely. Still to come, previewing a pre-Easter extravaganza this weekend. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight at 11. More news in just a moment.
It has the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of. Now it's here. Commonwealth Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly approval. It's a service that just comes naturally to us, just like how love of tradition comes naturally to you. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
Parents should know that health officials are monitoring a seasonal children's disease that has been seeing a recent uptick. Add that to concerns about the state of the Princess Margaret Hospital's children's ward. The health minister gave our Daniel Dean this update.
The Minister of Health, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, and the Public Hospitals Authority under scrutiny for what some claim are concerning conditions in the children's ward at the Princess Margaret Hospital, specifically the lack of hot water or heat in general.
The Bahamian people could rest assured that in this midterm budget, funding has been allocated in the $75 million that will go towards the renovation of the legacy ward and address these long-term legacy issues that existed with the pediatric ward. On the other hand, the new specialty hospital will be pediatric, maternal, as well as adolescent care. And we believe that after assessing the entire situation at the Princess Margaret Hospital, our best bet is to create this specialty hospital so that the spaces that would be left behind could be utilized for the expansion of the services that we intend to develop at the Princess Margaret Hospital.
Darville admits some of the concerns about the children's wards are warranted, but it's not due to intentional neglect. It's because all of the hospital's issues cannot be tackled at once. In keeping with the safety of children, Minister Darville addressed the issue of children suffering from the hand, foot and mouth disease.
This is the season for hand, foot and mouth disease. And I agree that we have an uptake. When a parent or a loved one sees someone with any signs, to move quickly, because it's highly contagious. Even though it's self-limiting, we need to make sure that we stay on top of it, particularly in our school populations. And this is the reason why our school nurses are on high alert and our clinics are on high alert, so that when we find these cases, we place them in isolation and we do the necessary follow-up as the pathogenesis of disease is self-limiting, and we can reintroduce them back in the classrooms and back into the communities.
Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Thanks, Danielle. Issues of infertility seem to be more prevalent among women now more than ever. Here again is Danielle Dean with tonight's edition of Health Matters.
Healthy beginnings, hopeful futures. Maternal and newborn health, the focus of this year's World Health Day, observed every year, April 7th.
To build a network, because what you will also find in certain circumstances like this is a lot more that actually bring us together, that actually divide us. Sometimes it starts with having those conversations, the very hard ones and the very true ones.
A suggestion made by headliner Dana Munnings-Gray, who shared her journey at the recent second annual Fertility Conference. When discussing pregnancy, potential threats like infertility and miscarriages will more than likely be brought up. Fertility specialist Fabricio Colores says this is how the journey to fertility normally goes for his patients.
It's really impressive how the community around this family is impacted by the journey, by the infertility journey, and by the treatment and by the chance to get a baby in their families. They really move mountains to get there. They spend everything that they have. Yeah, they are dedicating hours and hours in injections and treatment and going to the lab and expectations, a lot of things. At the end, when they get pregnant, it's like it's difficult to describe. Only the ones that are going through this journey are able to talk really deep about that.
Staggering statistics, it's estimated there's roughly one unwarranted death every 7 seconds between mothers and their babies. Almost 300,000 women lose their life due to pregnancy or childbirth each year, and millions of babies are either stillborn or die within their first month of life. The World Health Organization will share useful information to support healthy pregnancies and births and better postnatal health until April 7th next year. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Thanks again, Danielle. The public's getting an important reminder of paying attention when conducting cash transactions, and not just because of pickpocketers either. In tonight's Business Beat, Corval Pyfrom shows us this danger lurking that's often easy to miss.
The staff at SuperValue are getting a crash course in counterfeit detection. As frontline cash handlers, it's important they know what to look out for. We've seen the emergence of these counterfeit culprits from time to time, and experts caution that any of us using cash in our day-to-day transactions are at risk. But what may come as a surprise to many is the banknotes that these culprits are using in their scheme. It's no longer just the big ones. Frederick Cargill with the Central Bank's Currency Operations Unit spearheading this biannual one-day workshop on counterfeit detection. He demonstrates what to look for.
If you was to hold it up to the light, you should be able to read the word Bahamas on that thread as well, which is also hard to counterfeit. But even so, when you do hold it up to the light, you notice one thread. It's continuous throughout the banknote, but when you hold it down, it's patches.
Crooks are innovative and often pretty good with keeping up with trends. And so Cargill says it's important cash handlers are as well.
We teach the attendees how to authenticate genuine banknotes and how to detect counterfeit banknotes as they handle cash, especially in high volume, high pace, high velocity cash areas.
But again, we must all remain vigilant.
Most customers or persons that use cash, they would use, say, $100 bill for high value transaction, but in our day-to-day transaction, we usually use the $20 bills or the $10 bills, and those are the targeted ones. And people don't pay much attention to low value denominations, whereas a person will scrutinize a higher denomination like the 100 or 50.
And if you believe that you've fallen victim to these counterfeit bandits, you should call the Royal Bahamas Police Force's Financial Crimes Unit. On the Business Beat, I'm Corvell Pyfrom.
Thanks, Corvell. If you haven't quite settled on what your Easter plans will be this Palm Sunday weekend, our Corvell Pyfrom has found an event that might end up causing a splash for the entire family. Here's that story.
You can't see it yet, but just wait until Saturday morning. The Elizabeth Betty Cole Park along East Bay Street, right at the foot of the Sir Sidney Poitier Bridge, is going to be rocking with an Easter extravaganza like organizer Alicia Moss with Cruising Adventures swears you've never seen before.
Because Easter time, that's when a lot of people come home, that's when time is off, that's when the children actually have up to 14 days off from school these days, so you want to do something when you could benefit the community where it's being impacted. The children walking around every day anyway, so bring them to the community, let them do something proactive and let them do something constructive.
The whole area, all of it, will be transformed for this one-day event, almost certain to become an annual outing. They will have bouncing castles, Easter bunnies, candy and food and fun, plus a huge Easter egg hunt. Team leader at Bahamas Land and Sea Tours, or BLAST, Captain Kennedy Fraser Jr., is helping to put this all together. The captain says there will be something for everyone, even the not-so-small kids.
This is for adults and kids. So, you know, adults, at one point you were a kid, some still feels like they're a kid. So we're going to let them do the same activities. Don't think because you're an adult, you're so mature. Let's relax and enjoy yourself with your kids and your nieces, your nephews, whoever. Just bring the kids out and let's have fun. The event is free.
Now, this is being put together by folks from the water sports industry, so that means there's an added bonus at tomorrow's extravaganza.
We have the outdoor gaming facility, so they'd be able to play PlayStation. And then top it off at the end of the evening, we're going to carry the kids on probably 10 to 15-minute harbor rides. They would really enjoy being on the water as well.
This is the historic Malcolm Park, or now the Betty Cole Park, and ordinarily it belongs to these guys. These ballers, as you well know, are very territorial about their space, but come tomorrow, they're going to have to give it up because this place will belong entirely to the kids. But we think they'll be just fine with that. For the Bahamas Tonight, Access Now, I'm Corvell Pyfrom.
We think so too, Corvell. Thanks again. Eugene Stewart has a look at what's coming up in sports tonight. Eugene?
Olympic dreams on the horizon. Details of that story coming up in sports.
Bahamas Striping Group of companies, we have been in Exoma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is producing work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass it along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Welcome to your Feel Good Friday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Eugene Stewart. Well, with the world of sailing receiving a steady increase in numbers, a young sailor looks to turn his childhood dreams into a reality. Let's set sail with his inspiring journey. Born and raised on the pink sands of Harbor Island, 21-year-old Joshua Higgins has his eyes set on bringing home a gold in the 2028 Olympics. The generational skipper says that sailing piqued his interest since his athletic childhood.
Being on a small island like that, you know, having access to boats and stuff was pretty easy. I started sailing in 2010. I started sailing in the Opti. And yeah, I just took off from there. Like, I just fell in love with the sport, to be honest. I've always been active. Like in school, I did sports like track and field, basketball, baseball, volleyball. So I was always an active child. But sailing just piqued my interest, and it was also something that ran in my family. And yeah, it was just something I took to at a young age, and I was super interested in.
The young sailor gives credit to his former coach, Kier Clark, who steered his course for international development.
He was the one who really helped develop me and, pushed me forward into the international scene. I really thank him to this day. It's crazy how at the right time people come into your life, to help you get where you need to go, because he told me if I want to go to the Olympics, I need to train internationally. I need to sail internationally because that's the only way I'm going to get better.
Higgins, currently in Tenerife, Spain, does not allow homesickness to deter his focus.
I mean, I still get homesick every now and then, but I'd say time is definitely a big factor. And, just getting used to living over here and getting adjusted to the culture and everything. I'm very blessed. I always tell myself, I get to sail in good conditions in these different places around the world while someone else is probably miserable at a desk job. You know what I mean? So I always keep reminding myself, this was my choice. No one forced me to be here.
As he continues to train, Higgins is confident that he will join the ranks of former Olympic sailors and continue to be a true embodiment of the phrase 242 to the world. 24 schools expected to take part as plans was announced Thursday for the hosting of the 45th New Providence Public Primary Schools Track and Field Championships, April 22nd through the 25th at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium, under the theme Moving Forward with Limitless Possibility Through Sports. As Clevelanius is the reigning champs, encouraging fans to come out was the Minister of Education and Technical and Vocational Training, the Honorable Glynis Hannah Martin.
The training, the performance at these early stages really help to define the type of athlete a student can become. But also the sporting experience is a collegiate, it's a friendly competition, it builds community between the varying schools. And so we want to really encourage parents to come out and support their children and the wider community. Come out and support these young people because that little one today could be a gold medalist tomorrow or might be a gold medalist tomorrow. And so I think we're going to have some fine competition, and we really encourage everyone to come out in full force to support the competition. I believe it's going to be keen, lots of fun, and enjoyment for all concerned.
And that's been your Feel Good Friday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Eugene Stewart. Stay tuned. We've got weather when we return.
Carter is the slave name that was given to my forefathers and was passed on to me. Hurricane is the professional name that I acquired later on in life. One thing I could do and the only thing was box.
Can you believe that black punk? He thinks he's champion of the world.
We're looking for two Negroes in a white car.
Any two will do.
Look carefully, sir. Are these the two men who shot you?
He said no.
Reuben Carter, you are sentenced to be imprisoned for the remainder of your natural life.
I'm innocent. I've committed no crime.
Here comes the story of the hurricane. The man the authorities gave.
Oh, your first book, huh?
16th round.
Reuben Hurricane Carter.
You know what, Les? Sometimes we don't pick the books we read, they pick us.
Your Honor, this case was built on a foundation of lies.
20 years spent locked up in a cage. Justice, that's all I ask. Hate put me in prison. Love's gonna bust me out.
It's time now for a weather check with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Royston. We have that old frontal boundary in the extreme southeastern parts of the country, and that's triggering some showers near Inagua and the Turks and Caicos Islands. We also have another little pocket of showers here near the Florida Keys. And your temperatures around the islands this evening, 73 degrees in Marshall, Abaco, Greentoul, Key, and Freeport, 77 degrees, 78 in the Berry Islands, Allenstown, Bimini at 74 degrees. Over in Harbor Island, we have a temperature there of 80 degrees, 80 also in Otterstown, Cat Island. Black Point in Zuma, Camp Space, St. Andros, 82. Fresh Creek, Central Andros, 79 degrees. 80s again in San Salvador and Rum Key, Georgetown, Exuma, 1 degree up at 81 degrees. 82 in Ragged Island, Clarence, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Maguana, and Acklands reporting 83. 81 in Matthew-Town, Inagua, and the Turks and Caicos Islands. And your forecast tonight, we're looking at clear but a bit warm just ahead of the arrival of that front, which will come through tomorrow. Low temperature around 73 degrees. And tomorrow, a brief morning shower or two, otherwise partly sunny conditions with a high temperature reaching 81 degrees. And your extended weather forecast for the next several days, those morning showers ahead of that front. Things are dry out as we head into the afternoon. Beautiful weather shaping up for the rest of the weekend and the greater part of next week, where we see lots of sunshine during the daytime. Temperature-wise, very comfortable nighttime temperatures. They're going to reside in the mid to upper 60s for the greater part, and those daytime temperatures, we'll see a slight decrease in the daytime temperatures heading right into Monday. Things get back up in the 80s as we head into Tuesday of next week. Royston.
We like comfortable, but we want cool. Thank you very much, Basil. Well, that does it for the Bahamas tonight at 11. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. Thank you for watching, and be sure to tune into the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition with Desmond Saunders. Good night.
At the Office of the Prime Minister, I'm Devontae Hanno. This is ZNS.
Hey, Darnell, separate apartments are not silly, okay? We can't court each other if we live together. Boy, because we're trying to weave our independent lives into a new, vital, multifaceted marriage. Ooh, Maya. Oh, that's good. I gotta put that in one of my books. Anyway, but you're gonna feel so much better once you unpack your PlayStation, get it all set up, okay? Yes, I love you too. I miss you too. Okay. Oh, wait, baby. Hello? Darnell. Hey, baby.
Yeah, baby.
You want greens or cabbage with your dinner tonight?
Cabbage?
Oh, we better run on down to Koreans, because all I got is greens.
I don't get it, but I'm with it.
Planning the execution of a newscast is serious business. From the assignment to the concept of the story, everything has to be precise, on point, always. The Bahamas Tonight, the national report, is your trusted news service.